Well, we got into Taos. I got a call a couple months back from my buddy Dennis, and he's got his own theory about Fenn and where the treasure is at. So that's how I ended up down here in Taos. So we're on our way down to the Rio Grande Gorge. There at the Rio Grande Gorge, there's a confluence of the Red River and the Rio Grande at La Junta Point, and there's a little bridge that leads across there. And we're going right to the bridge, which is the home of Brown, which is the brown fish trout hatchery right there beneath the river. And we're gonna start right there. So that's how I ended up down here, and we're all geared up and we're ready to go. It's got a great but cold. Who knew there was snow in New Mexico? But there is. We're gonna brave the cold, as Forrest said, and see if we can find some treasure today. So that's the plan. You feel like you got the right supplies? Are we prepared? What do you got for preparations?
Oh, we're prepared. All right, let's get a little rundown here.
All right.
I thought it necessary to bring both of Forrest's books. Matt has his trapper idea, which is all of his stuff that he has determined. This is my idea book, and everything is in here of latitudes and longitudes and ideas. I have an infrared temperature sensor.
What do you need an infrared temperature sensor for?
Hey, you never know. Don't diss it, okay? You never know what you'll need. And it's small, so what difference does it make?
Give me one example of why you would need an infrared temperature sensor.
I remember a lawyer telling me one time, he said, a contract is not written for what you think could happen. It has to be written for what you don't know could happen.
Okay. All right, so infrared water sensor.
Don't want to get dehydrated. It's only 25% humidity in North New Mexico. Camelbacks. A camping shovel.
What do you need a camping shovel?
Well, we're not exactly sure. Some people have debated on whether it is buried or not. And you never know that even if it wasn't buried, what you may have to remove some debris and stuff that has blown in. It's been there for 3 years now. If you run out of water, life straw.
What's life straw?
Why every time you have to ask the question, why does there have to be a little smirk and a giggle into it?
Hey, no, these are all kinds of great gadgets. I'm sure Forrest had all of them when he came out. But just in case.
Forrest knew where he was going. We don't know where it got.
Yeah, good point.
We could get into a lot of stuff that he didn't get into. Okay, this is a life straw. If you wanted to drink out of the Rio Grande because you were thirsty, there's a filtration system that is a straw that you can suck right out of the thing, and it all takes out bacteria. Say, life straw.
Handy. I'm sure the life straw people appreciate that.
That's right. We have waterproof maps. New Mexico and the trail systems around Rio Grande. So Matt, where are we?
We are, where the heck are we?
I'm lost and I cannot be found.
Yeah, this is we're at the Wild Rivers National Park Monument here. Right over yonder is the confluence of the Red River and the Rio Grande. So the plan is, this is the Cibola Mesa Trail. It's right off Forest Road number 9. When we get about 100 yards that way, the trail diverges. There's an old trail that's a little bit more precipitous that goes all the way down the canyon to the Rio Grande, but we're going to probably take the switchback. On the way down, we're going to be looking for blazes. We're going to be looking for anything that looks like a place that you could hide a 15th century Roman chest. And then once you get down to the very bottom, we're going to hopefully see that the water differential before the spring runoff is a little lower, that we can find blazes or other types of things that may be signs of where the treasure is. So that's the plan. We're heading on down. Come on.
Let's rock it.
Let's do it. Dahl's been here, and he checked it out, but he didn't think that Forrest could get down the hill.
Yeah, he was centered also around a lot of the bridges.
Yeah.
So he was thinking it was something around the Don Bridge or at the Rio Grande Bridge. he was a little bit further downstream is where he was going to.
Wasn't there some other dude?
Wolf?
The Wolf.
The Wolf, yeah, it's like a Pulp Fiction thing, right?
Yeah.
But the Wolf, he's got a lot of expeditions that he did. The last one that he did was at the hatchery in Cuesta and coming down. However, reading his blog, he had trouble wrapping his mind around where warm waters halted, because he couldn't see any place. You know, he could say that the home of Brown was a hatchery, but he couldn't discover, like, why would I start here? Where's warm water halt? But apparently he did not know something, that the lower part of the Red River is spring fed.
Yep.
So the water is about 50 degrees or plus from the hatchery down to the confluence. And above that, it is all snowmelt at the upper, up in like in the town of Red River and ski hills. So that water is much colder. So warm water halt could very well be just right at the town of Cuesta, just above the hatchery.
Makes sense.
But yeah, the Wolf was here. I don't think he came right down to the confluence though. This is actually a pretty easy trail.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't really see any issue why Forrest couldn't get down here. The first maybe 100 yards was a little tricky, a lot of loose rock.
Yeah.
But here now, this is smooth going.
Yeah. Yeah. Not too shabby.
So this could be a bridge, not a side at all. Exfoliation of the box.
Yeah.
That would stay. This is really this area. So this could be considered a blaze.
If it was a blaze, if that wasn't a new directional right there and it was a blaze, you would say, okay, bottom of the tree is blazed and the top branch is pointing in a direction?
This is fell off. I don't think this top branch is, you know, this looked like it rotted off. This is not man-made, so no one would have created this blaze.
Right, but if it
They would
was...
have created that one though.
Okay, so then we would either have to try to find another one that matches,
Yeah.
or we would... Okay.
Right. So obviously there's nothing around here for the blaze. Now there's a little, looks like a little goat path out through that way.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't we just walk out here first and look down
Okay.
and see if there's any cave structure or anything like that.
Sounds good.
Because who knows, maybe that is the blaze. Definitely lots of marvel gaze. There's because, you know, just look at this beautiful view here where you can look up through the Rio Grande.
Looks like we got a slight problem.
Sands Bridge.
Bridge. Bridge.
Boy Bridge. Go.
Kind of interesting because we're here at the confluence, but the poem talks about put in beneath the home of Brown. And put in is obviously a nautical term, so someone who's a fly fisherman or rafter canoer would be looking for a put in if they're gonna go into the river. So if you come here, Cibola Mesa Trail, this is actually the put-in where people who do pack rafting come down here to the river, and it is below, if you're looking on a map, it is southerly of the confluence here. So it is a put-in beneath the home of Brown. So that term is actually matched right here.
Obviously too, you know, if you're noticing that it's the wind just picked up under microphone here.
Yeah.
And it's because it's dramatically colder right here.
Yeah, it's 20 degrees colder here than it is up there. And
20
it's
feet
another
away.
10 degrees colder, about 10, 20 feet down the hill here.
Right, so it's definitely braving the cold, right?
And this is a literal put-in. So we've got the put-in beneath the home of Brown, so now it's following the other clues sequentially to find where we need to find the treasure.
And again, the thing is with that could mean this way.
Right.
That could mean that way up the Red River, but we definitely know it's not that way up the Rio Grande.
Right, now the question we have to decide is the word meek. Is meek referring to the actual physical trek that we're going to take now, or is meek referring to something religious like the San Cristobal Mountains over here or Guadalupe over there, and he's trying to tell us meek is a direction rather than a type of journey that you're on. So we're going to have to split test a couple different theories here to make sense of it all.
Right, and again, the only thing about that is because this whole mountain range is the San Cristobal mountain range, it doesn't really help us because it's all that.
A lot of freaking saints around here.
A lot of saints around here.
Spanish ruined it for any pagans.
For us old pagans, yeah.
So anyway, yeah, so we're heading that way. We're going to start with the theory that the Meek is actually the trail that's one of the harder trails. And we're going to try that one out first.
Good job. So Matt, what are we saying here? Are we going to go up this trail?
That's the trail, brother.
Is that our next?
It's no place for the Meek. Ends drawing nigh. Can't paddle up that creek right there because there's too many flipping heavy loads
Of water and rocks.
Yep. So up the trail in like areas at the confluence, there's a number of high water marks on the rocks that are only visible right now because the snow runoff hasn't come. Is it possible that water's high is referring to something like that?
High water mark.
So, hey Dennis, this rock, something like that that's not there naturally, is it?
No, I doubt that's there naturally. You know, the rock slides happen around here a lot. If I saw huge boulders on top of other huge boulders, something that was too heavy for a man to lift, I'd say it was natural.
Right.
That somebody put that there.
Is it possible that it stood there for 3 years though?
That would stay there 5,000 years.
If someone didn't touch it.
There's no big wind down here.
Yeah.
There's no big water runoff.
Yeah.
There's none of that. Basically, if you had another landslide, you could hit it and knock it off, but that could seriously stay there 1,000 years.
So does this mean we're on the right track, or does this mean that we should be looking down?
I'd say all the above.
All right.
Leave no stone unturned, right?
Literally. Got some heavy loads and water's high there. I don't know if you can see this, but when it comes to homes of Brown, you're looking at them. It's the cave up there, huh?
Yeah. Looking quickly down.
Got it, Blaze?
But my quest has not ceased.
All right, we got any caves or anything around here?
Yep.
Yeah?
Right there. See that little walk through there? On the other side of that is a pretty big cave.
Okay.
So let's go explore it.
All right, got your headlamp?
Got my headlamp.
All right. You going alone in there?
I'm gonna go alone in here, sir. You know, this is where you would think, somewhere right here, right?
Right.
Because you'd have to come in order to see it, because even if you shine your light in, you wouldn't see it, because it's sort of nothing there. No, no one could get in there. You'd have to throw the box in there in order to get it. So I don't think that's it. Hey, man.
Yeah. Hey.
Styling that thing.
Some stuff down here.
Yeah. The spiral staircase.
Yeah.
See it?
Yep.
But you see, it looks like a spiral staircase down there, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's kind of awesome.
Yeah. If you could get there, what a place to hide something.
Yeah, no joke, but I don't see any blazes around here that would indicate that that's the place.
Well, you remember too, just behind us, is where you saw that big stone structure.
Right, so it's a
So that
natural
could have been a
blaze.
natural blaze, right? Something to indicate this is where it was.
Yeah, the Jesuits used to hide gold up here, miners, all kinds of people. And they would use these arroyos and hoyos, so you'd have like a hole that you
Yeah.
would look in from a distance and find a marker just like this. So it's not out of the question that this would be a natural hiding place or something.
Yep,
And it's
yep.
got all the cubbies that you look for.
Oh yeah, and like I said, it can go down in there forever, it seems like. But, we checked up that site, and we checked down there, and that abyss down there, but no gold. But you know what? It makes me think, Matt, that because of these types of structures, there's one here, and there's another one over right there that we're going to go check out right now. We could be in the right spot.
Yeah, I mean,
we just got to find more like this and find the right one.
We got to find one, and maybe one with the Forrest Fenn type of blaze to it, because it matches up, the clues match up, and the locations now match up. He's overlooking a river down there that's a great fly fishing river. It's at a place that he would, if you're going to off yourself, why not here?
I can't think of a better place.
Yeah, so all right, let's go check out some more.
Cool. This is not for the make. You notice that when you get in there,
Yeah.
it's like another one inside of one.
I think we got some animals living in here.
Yeah, I saw there was like some thistle bushes up there.
One of the things Forrest said in the poem was, if you've been wise and found the blaze, I've always thought that meant it was an owl blaze. So tell me, when you look at this, does that look like an owl to you? Two horns, face? Something that does make sense to me. We were going down these trails down here, and this is a fisherman's spot, the Red River. Forrest is a big fisherman.
We actually saw some good fish.
Saw some awesome fish, saw some cutthroats, some rainbow, a couple big browns down there. So if we want to put in at the beneath the home of brown, and you're a fisherman, from there the no place for the meek, the end is drawing nigh. Let's assume that he's talking to a fellow fisherman. So you take a path, one of the many paths around here that's not for the meek. The end is drawing nigh because you're going to your favorite fishing hole. There's no paddle up this creek because of the rapids, but there's great fishing. When we find the blaze, which we found a blaze up there on the rock sitting on top of it, he says, look down, your quest to cease. So from the trail, you would look down for the best fishing hole. So maybe what we need to do is go back down the trail, both this side and that side, and find a blaze, like a secret trail that only a fisherman would know, where the best brown are, and go down to the bottom of there and find it at the bottom in the creek.
Maybe it's close to the river and is leading us to a great fishing hole.
Exactly. I mean, that's what Forrest would want to do. Now, I don't know how he's going to die there, but maybe there's some kind of a rock with a overhang that he could tuck himself under down near the bottom of the creek bed. Didn't he say stuff about his home and his heaven is at the tops of the mountains and at the bottom of the creek beds? And if that's the case, we're either going to go up there or we're going to go down there, if that's where he's going to die and go to heaven.
Yeah, and what I'm thinking too is that, his favorite spots were in Wyoming, in Yellowstone. And, that does not look like Yellowstone, right? Because it's just desolate and rocky. We're in New Mexico. But however, that going up that creek bed, those big tall pines, now that looks a little bit more like Yellowstone. So this could be reminiscent of his home. So why don't we do that? Matt, what do you think? We gonna do that?
Salute!
Cheers.
Can't seem to see anything. If it was here, it's gone. A little tight, but
you could sleep in there if you had to.
Oh yeah, for sure. In fact, I'm sure over the millennia, someone has slept in here before.
Yeah.
It's pretty cozy.
Yeah, it's way deeper than it looks from the outside.
Yeah.
It would have been a great place to hide it, that's for sure.
Bigger than most apartments in New York.
Or Tokyo.
Right. All right, Dennis, it's 4:30. Whatever time it is here.
4:30, you were right.
4:30. We've been hiking since about 9:30. Haven't found the treasure yet. How you feeling?
Well, I've always been a believer that it was on the Red River. The more and more that I I studied it. We did the lower part of the Red River, but we still got tomorrow. I don't give up. That's for sure. So, you know, we're going to start at the hatchery tomorrow and work our way down.
Do you feel dejected? Do you think the theory's still valid? Do you think it's still here, or have your emotions changed at all?
When I first started studying the poem, I was pretty much adamant that I was in Wyoming, in Yellowstone. The more and more I looked, and the more I tried to get into the mind and life of Forrest, I still think it's in New Mexico, and I think the best, you know, he's a trout fisherman. We saw easily 20, 30 trout today that were 2 pounds apiece. Yeah, it's in this area.
All right, good deal. Back at him tomorrow?
Oh, absolutely, with bells on.
All right. You're looking.
Well, you got the Bono thing going on here now, I think.
All right, yeah. I'll take it.
You'll take it?
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Good. So, tired? Are you Matt? Are you tired?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy tired. I had jello legs going back when I was trying to go up to the top of the mountain over there a little bit ago. But
you do realize that a little bit ago was 2.5 hours ago and you've been hiking ever since.
Yeah, I don't know if turkey sandwich is enough to burn off when you get 6,000 calories, but
you need some Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the one thing that I like better than Wyoming on this one was there's a lot of really cool crevices and caves and awesome hiding spots to put a treasure. I love that. I think Forrest loves that. So it's got all the elements that you need for a Forrest Fenn hiding spot. I don't know, we still need a blaze. I think we're honing in on the blaze. I love the theory that, you know, it's a secret fishing hole, that when you walk down the path, there's only one thing you can do at the end of the blaze, and that's look down, because you're at the bottom of the river. So I like that theory. It's just finding the right fishing hole with the right marker at the top of the mesa or something to that effect that fits the bill. So we're closer. Every time you get closer and you eliminate variables, so eventually we're gonna get it.
Yeah, yeah. So do you think it's still in this area?
No, I think it's in Wyoming. I told you that from the beginning. But this is as good as a second best option as you could get. So I'm having a blast.
Well, tell me how you really feel, right? Okay. Well, back at it again tomorrow.
Yep.